Hello everyone, I am Priyam Garg and I welcome you to the Thoughtful Leader series by Collegedunia. Today we interview Mr. Anand Prakash Mishra. Anand sir has inspired a generation of young students across the country to study law at India's top law schools. He has spent over a decade in the field of legal education and presently works as the Director of Law Admissions at Jindal Global Law School of OP Jindal Global University in Sonepur. As a teaching faculty of JGLS, he also teaches courses in legal methods and labor and industrial laws. Sir holds his Masters of Law degree from the esteemed Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. He earned his bachelor's from Campus Law Center of University Delhi and a BA honors in economics from Patna University, where he graduated with the top rank. He has also qualified the UGC NET in law. Before joining Jindal Law School, Anand sir wrote a bestseller LLB guidebook for Delhi University and taught extensively in law test prep. Over 1,000 students personally taught by him had secured admission to India's best law schools in both 5-year and 3-year LLB courses. A man of many talents, so we welcome you and are honored to be interviewing you. Without further ado, I will start with the questions. So, first up is, there has been an unprecedented year, as we all know, due to the COVID-19 situation. So how is the university and the law school affected by COVID-19 situation?
Thank you, Priyam, for this interview. And thank you, Collegedunia.com. Your portal is quite popular website for young students seek information about various courses and programs. So thank you for organizing this interaction with me. The year 2020 has been actually a special for legal education and higher education in our country, despite COVID situation. COVID is indeed a crisis, a global pandemic situation. Most of the people of our generation or younger generation, they have never seen in their life. So but I feel higher education and legal education in particular, at our law school, we are not affected as such in terms of academic delivery or teaching or classes, because online mode with our preparedness, we immediately implemented in our semesters since March 2020. But why I believe this year is special because of two things. One, the new education policy of Government of India has arrived this year, and it's a remarkable step after 1986. It's a long period of time when this new education policy was needed, and substantial reform measures have been suggested in this policy in almost every sphere of education, from primary to secondary to the higher education and even in research. So that's a remarkable development this year in 2020. The second thing is, for the first time in the history of legal education, any Indian law school could get into the global ranking of law schools. In early 2020, Jindal Global Law School and National Law School of India University, Bangalore, were the only two law schools which were ranked among top 200 law schools in the world. Never ever in the history of legal education, any Indian law school could secure a global ranking. I have been a keen observer of law school rankings nationally and globally. In Indian rankings, many news magazines and websites and a lot of other players produce ranking stories. But the global rankings like QS or Times Higher Education, never ever an Indian law school could find a rank in top 100 or top 200 or top 300 law schools even in the world. So in 2020, Jindal Global Law School was ranked among top 101 to 150 rank, and National Law School of India University, Bangalore was in top 150 to 200 rank. So it's like 2 law schools coming in top 200. It's a significant achievement. And in a way, Indian legal education has come in the global legal education scenario. Of course, our students were doing very well earlier also. They were participating in international moves, defeating teams from foreign universities. A lot of recognition also of Indian law students and academic have been there. But as institutions, as law schools, this is a very remarkable development in 2020. So I believe it has been a great year, a fantastic year for legal education. And if I look at the way admissions has happened in our law school, this year has been the most successful year of admission in the history of our law school. We very successfully conducted our entrance exam online in a remote proctored format and admitted the full class. And right now, when we are talking today, our 1,500 students in the law school who have joined in 2020 are attending their classes in various programs on a full-time basis, which has started on 1st of September. So COVID has not caused any damage, I feel. Though the biggest loss is we are not able to see the students on campus and the classes have to be done remotely. But I believe it's a matter of one semester, and very soon, once the situation normalizes, our second semester starts from 1st of February, and I have no doubt that all our students and faculty members and everybody will be on campus by that time.
Right. So, as per I understood, is what you're telling me is in your school there are just a few hiccups, and apart from that, by and large, the courses have been running at the previous level or even better, as you said. So, sir, this was the level or this was the situation in your school. But what could be the possible impact on the entirety of the India or the Indian subcontinent? What can the other law schools look forward to, or what can they expect in the near future due to the COVID situation? Both in legal and higher education.
This is a cause of concern for many institutions which could not prepare themselves for this pandemic situation. And you can see today on 18th September, but the entrance exams have not happened. The CLAT, which is the major entrance exam for 5-year law program, is yet to happen on 28th of this month. And that's after postponements of 3-4 times. So admission process has not been initiated in most of the law schools, and that's a very unfortunate situation. I wish the other law schools also predicted the situation and organized the exam through a trusted online examination system, the way we do with Law School Admission Council of the USA. And it's a very perfect way of testing students in India and globally through dedicated high-end IT services company called Pearson View, which conducted our exam.
Right.
So overall, it has been a loss, but I believe the law schools will be able to cope up. And once the entrance exam happens, they'll be able to do admissions and start classes.
Right.
So the loss could be minimized.
Right. So essentially, the loss could have been minimized if probably other sources of proctored examinations would have been used by universities beforehand, but now they just have to minimize their losses further. So moving on to the next question. So this is a very important and a hot topic, I guess. So I wanted to know your views on different academic law programs in India. So first up, the 5-year integrated law programs in NLUs or in private law schools across India. What are your opinions on them, and how do you think they compare to the traditional 3-year LLB programs which people do after graduation? And what do you think is the future of such 3-year LLB programs?
So you are asking two different questions. One about the 5-year law program,
right,
and their viability and their, in a way, presence and future, and the 3-year LLB program separately. We are the only country that way in the entire world where law is offered in both undergraduate and postgraduate formats, where you can study a law degree after class 12 if you do a 5-year law program. And you can also study an LLB degree after graduation if you do a 3-year LLB program. And both the programs are absolutely equal, and they entitle you to become advocates, eligible to practice law, and for all other purposes also, they are indeed equal in all aspects. But I must tell you, since the establishment of National Law School Bangalore in 1987, if we look at Indian legal education, the history of legal education in the country, particularly in the post-independence scenario, from 1947 to 1987, the only option to study law was a 3-year LLB degree for the first 40 years. The institutions which had the responsibility and which were actually very reputed for that were University of Delhi Law Faculty and the law faculties in Banaras Hindu University or Allahabad University or Lucknow University in the north, or the traditional government law college system, the GLC in Mumbai, or government law college in Chennai, or the government law college in Bangalore, and even the traditional university law departments. So, like ILS Law College, Pune is a law college of Pune University, and very few private institutions which were good offering law degrees. So there was no dedicated law school or institution which was created only for legal education. So 1987 was that way a remarkable year when National Law School Bangalore was established. And next 20 years, till 2007-2008, it was 5-year law program which ruled in a way legal education scenario, and many new national law universities came up, and 5-year program became the I should say the flagship law program in the country. The situation is still continuing, but I must tell you, this in no way affects the value of a good 3-year LLB program. So we are actually lucky at Jindal Global Law School. We offer both the programs with equal rigor and sincerity, and both the programs are equally good. I mean, the 5-year law program is very popular, but 3-year LLB class at Jindal, we get students from around the country and around the world. Graduates from top universities in the US, UK, Singapore, Hong Kong, all over. They come to study LLB degree at Jindal Global Law School in Sonipat, as well as the graduates from top degree colleges in India also. So, in my view, both the programs must coexist. Both the programs are unique and important. But one thing which 5-year law program has done is it has opened legal education after school, and in some way law has emerged as the new liberal arts, that a student who is aspiring to study the best possible option in social sciences and humanities, which is also a professional program after class 12, it's the 5-year law degree. So the way medicine or engineering as qualifications are most sought after for the science stream students, law has indeed emerged as the most important career and most important higher education option after school for those who are in humanities or commerce, or those science students who do not want to pursue medicine or engineering or related areas. So last 20 years has seen law coming to the center stage, law becoming one of the most preferred career option in our country. That's a remarkable development, and a large part of it is owed to 5-year law program.
Right. So the synthesis of this whole discussion boils down to that the 5-year integrated law programs have actually become the go-to professional courses if you want to study liberal arts. So that's a very unique thing and a very unique insight, sir, you have provided to us. My second question along the different academic programs in law is, there are 1-year LLM programs in India, and how do you think they compare to 2-year or 3-year LLM degree programs in India?
So the LLM program, the Master of Law program, like when I studied at Delhi University, it was always a 2-year master's degree, or in some cases it was a 3-year master's degree. Even today in University of Delhi, they offer a 2-year or 3-year master's degree, LLM degree. They do not offer a 1-year LLM program. But I believe in postgraduate legal education, the 2013 notification of UGC has been a landmark development, because internationally LLM is a 1-year degree. So in the United States, in the UK, in Singapore, in Australia, in almost all the countries, LLM is a 1-year master's degree program. But in India, it was a 2-year program or a 3-year program. And students, a lot of them went abroad to do LLM degrees simply because they wanted to save a year and get the master's degree in less time. And also the LLM program used to be more rigorous in foreign countries. Now with 1-year LLM approved by UGC in 2013, and our experience at Jindal has been phenomenal. It has reinvented LLM education in the country. Today we have some 8 different LLM programs in our law school. We have a specialized LLM in corporate financial law, in intellectual property rights and technology law, in international trade and investment laws, in taxation, in competition law, in general legal studies, and even in environment law, energy and climate change. So dedicated LLM program in specialized areas, and that gives a lot of option to the young law graduate to gain some mastery over a particular area of law in spite of doing a general LLM.
Right.
So even all the national law schools and many other universities, they have switched to 1-year LLM program. So today 1-year LLM program has become the flagship master's law program in the country. And that's a very, very important development. And that is the reason also why a lot of law graduates are choosing to do LLM now, which earlier not the case. Earlier, the number of students, number of law graduates going for LLM degree was very small. So now a large number of students are applying and aspiring to pursue LLM degree. One of the main reasons because it has become a 1-year master's program.
Sir, it's really great to hear that Jindal Global Law School, in fact, has become the flag bearer of 1-year LLM degrees and highly specialized LLM degrees. So, sir, this actually brings me to my next question. I recently heard that Jindal Global Law School introduced a BA honors in legal study programs. So, sir, can we know something about that program?
Yeah, it's very interesting. We are the first law school in the country to offer a BA degree, a Bachelor of Arts honors degree in legal studies. Now, traditionally law schools have offered only law degrees. Law school means you offer an LLB degree or a BA LLB or BBA LLB degree, but it has always to be a law degree, and which entitles a person to become an advocate or a lawyer.
Right.
The BA honors degree in legal studies is not a new thing in the world. If you look at the international universities, for example, the University of Arizona in the US, they admit a class of more than 1,000 students in their BA Legal Studies program. There are universities like University of Wisconsin-Madison or UC Berkeley or University of Pittsburgh. There are many universities which have a strong BA honors in legal studies program, or in the UK they even call BA law program, which is available after class 12, and it may not. In the US, the law degree is the JD degree or Juris Doctor qualification, which is available after 16 years of education. You should have completed 12 plus 4 years. But a lot of BA Legal Studies graduates join BA Legal Studies with the view to pursue JD qualification and become lawyers. So, Jindal Global Law School, when we thought about the BA Legal Studies Honors Program, the vision was to bring one of the finest undergraduate 3-year degree program, which focuses on legal studies and law, which may not be an LLB degree, but which is an undergraduate degree, which empowers students sufficiently in the study of law, and which prepares the student to take up law if they want to go for a 3-year LLB program. So we are very happy that this program has taken off very well, and brilliant students have chosen to study 3-year BA Legal Studies Honors Program. And some of the unique advantages of this program is you get an exit option after 3 years, which is not available in 5-year law program. A student joining 5-year law program in 2020 will only get his or her first degree in 2025. There is no exit till 2025.
Right.
Even if something happens or the student wants to decide to withdraw after 3 years or even 4 years, he or she will be getting nothing. So the benefit of 3+3 format is you get your first degree after 3 years. You get a degree in 2023. So you are eligible to write civil services exams. You are eligible to apply for master's degree in other disciplines. You are eligible to even exit your present institution and explore other institutions for a LLB degree or a master's degree. You have even an option to choose something not related to law. You can move to management or public policy or social work or international relations or any social science area. That option is not available with a 5-year law student. They get it only after 5 years. So, in a way, it's a very wise decision if a student thinks of doing a 3+3 program vis-a-vis a 5-year law program. It's the only loss is you give 1 extra year. In spite of 5 years, you spend 6 years. But the benefit is
6 years, right?
That 1 extra year gives you 2 independent qualifications, 2 independent degrees,
right?
And you do much more in-depth study in various social science as well as legal subjects vis-a-vis a student who pursues 5 years, and where BA LLB or BBA LLB, the BA or BBA part is for the first 2 years, and which are actually very limited. They are not part of the degree. 5-year BA LLB or BBA LLB or BCom LLB It's only an LLB degree. It's not a BA or BB or BCom degree.
Right.
So I have very high hopes from this BA Legal Studies program. In the due course, it is going to be a leading undergraduate degree program for any social science, humanities, a student who wants to get a wholesome education at undergrad level and who may not be ready to commit 5 years at one go after class 12, but who wants to have alternate plans and pathways. So the future of this program also looks very bright to me, and I feel in the long run, few more universities may come up with the BA Legal Studies or BA Law program.
Right, sir. The amount of freedom and flexibility this new program actually offers to the students is just unprecedented, and we would like to wish you all the best for this new program. Now, moving on to the next question. I know you have briefly covered the Indian law system some 40 years ago from 1947, how it changed in 1987. But if you can just give us an idea of the evolution of Indian law schools in the last 70, 75 years of the existence of India.
The most remarkable thing which has happened in last years, which I will say 2010 to 2020, is professionalization, professionalism coming in as an important factor in legal education in the country. It started with National Law School Bangalore and the 5-year program. But now, with Jindal Global Law School coming up in 2009, the legal education is more becoming world-class and globally competitive. Today, the students who are studying law in our law school, they are not just aspiring to become lawyers in India and Indian jurisdiction, which earlier it used to be. I remember when I joined law school in the year 2000, majority of students who studied law, almost all of them, their aspiration was limited to practicing in Delhi High Courts, Delhi High Court or the district courts in Delhi, and the Supreme Court if some of them wanted to start their career there. But it always remained limited to Delhi and India. And those who came to Delhi University to study law from different parts of the country, the students from UP or Bihar or MP or Rajasthan, most of them used to go back after completing their LLB degree and practice there. In today's time, study of law and practice of law both has become multi-jurisdictional. It is no more a single jurisdictional study or practice. So if you study law in India, it's not needed that you have to practice law or work in the legal field only in India. More than a dozen of our graduates have actually got bar license in New York and California this year. There are quite a few who have got bar license in Australia. Some of them are working in law firms in China, in UAE, even law firms in London. And some of them have become member of the UK bar. So now the orientation and the exposure and aspiration has become global. And even those lawyers who are working in Mumbai and Delhi in different law firms, their clients, the companies they are representing, the work they are doing, the most of the transactional work, it all involve international component. So legal profession has completely revolutionized that way in last 20 years. And it has become global. And that is why the education system which trains lawyers, that also need to be global and multi-jurisdictional. And that is where a law school like Jindal Global Law School becomes very, very critical and important, where we have professors from some 25 different countries and trained lawyers who have bar license in the US, in Canada, in Hong Kong, in New Zealand, in Iceland, in some 20 different countries. And they teach in the classrooms in Sonipat in India and prepare lawyers of the future who are trained to work in any part of the world with the same ease and comfort. And that is what is happening. If you go to an LLM class in Oxford or Cambridge today, or an LLM class in Columbia or Cornell or UC Berkeley or Stanford, or anywhere Singapore, every year you'll find quite a few number of our graduates from Jindal Global School, as well as many other law schools in the country, who are studying there and working there, and even passing the bar exams in the US and other countries of the world. So law has become a global and multi-jurisdictional practice and profession in a big way now, which was not there earlier. So that is a very, very important development. And legal education has come a long way since we started, say, in 1947 with very few law schools in the university departments. Today we have some 1,500 plus law colleges in the country, though all of them could not be called, legal education institutions in that way, because some of them are indeed mediocre and average, and they are not on par with leading institutions. But I can tell you that at least 50 or 100 law schools in our country are doing a great job and doing justice with legal education they are imparting in their campuses.
Right. So, sir, till now we focus mostly on the positive aspects of Indian law education system. But now I'd like to move on to some of the biggest challenges you see, both for higher education in general and for your institute specifically. And after that, if you can also shed a light to what do you think should be your institute's top priority over the next 10 years or so.
So, some of the challenges I will say, which law schools are facing or will face in future. One of them will come through technology. So the use of artificial intelligence or machine learning or robotics or new technologies, particularly in the transactional work, they might reduce the requirement of human factor, and also the employment opportunities could be affected. At the same time, law as a profession in the courtroom, in judiciary, and in many other fields, technology will not do much harm. But in transactional works, in legal process outsourcing, in technology-based work, with the advancement in technology, it's going to be scalable, and maybe the human requirement, the manpower requirement, for example, a legal department of a big company employing, say, 100 lawyers, they might get things automated, and using artificial intelligence and robotics and technology, they might reduce the requirement to 5 or 10 people. So these things may happen in future. So that is one challenge which will be coming through the technology side. The other is the bigger challenge of mediocrity and dilution of standards in legal education in a lot of law colleges and institutions. Because I believe due to the old system of affiliated colleges system in state universities in particular, that one university used to affiliate 100 colleges or 50 colleges or 200 colleges in some cases. There was a lot of mediocrity there. There were colleges which were not even having a proper law library or proper classrooms, and where no classes have been conducted, yet the universities conduct exam and award degrees. And those people with half-baked legal education they have received, they come to the courts with a valid LLB degree and a bar license to practice law, and they, in a way, disappoint not just the judges and the court system, but also the entire justice delivery system becomes mediocre. And that is why one of the substantial reforms needed today is to reduce the number of law colleges in the country and close down those colleges which do not comply with the academic standards at all, particularly the colleges which are not having faculty appointed. And there are law colleges which do not have even a proper principal or a dean in place for many years. Still the colleges are running and producing graduates without conducting classes, without providing law libraries, without doing any mooting activity, without preparing students for the legal profession, by just conducting exam and awarding degrees. And that is a bigger challenge, which I feel our regulatory bodies like Bar Council of India and our university system has to look into and work upon.
Right. So, sir, I'll just move to the last question of this interview. Any suggestions you'd like to give to the current youth and the aspiring students who probably want to join your university or just want to pursue law in general?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a study of law has always been a very, very important higher education option. If you look at not just our country, around the world, the leadership of the country and the world has been in the hands of lawyers. If you look at the freedom struggle in India, from Mahatma Gandhi to Pandit Nehru, to almost all the freedom fighters you find, they were lawyers. In the first cabinet of Pandit Nehru, almost everybody from Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister to Law Minister Dr. Ambedkar, every cabinet minister of first cabinet was a lawyer except one or two persons. So lawyers have always been in leadership positions in the society and the country. And therefore, the good people, the good students, they should aspire to study law. And in today's time, law is not just getting a degree to be eligible to practice in the courts or to become a judge and to become a part of judicial system. You won't believe a lot of law graduates today are directly getting into business, becoming entrepreneurs. Even they are doing multiple things. Some of the areas which have no connect, no relationship with legal studies. But the empowerment they receive with legal education, that helps them whichever field they choose. So studying a law degree, whether a 5-year law degree or a 3-year law degree, it's always going to keep you in a better position in your life and in your career. Whether you want to become a courtroom lawyer or a judge or want to work in the legal ecosystem or not. One of our graduates, I remember, a 5-year law program, chose to go to Harvard Business School for an MBA and has decided to become more an entrepreneur and a businessman than a lawyer. And these things will happen even more. And that is why I said law is the new liberal arts. Right? In the US, liberal arts is your first degree, and then you decide what you want to become. If after you get a liberal arts degree, you can even study medicine and become a doctor, or you study JD and become a lawyer, or you study accounting or whatever professional field you can choose. But you start with like a liberal arts degree. In the same way, a 5-year law degree is the new liberal arts qualification, one of the finest one. And the diversity and rigor in the law program is certainly more than any social science humanities program in the country. So that empowers the students in a big way. Even if you want to become a novelist, your writing skills are improved so much by studying law that you will excel in the field, whatever, even if you take up journalism or communication or a completely unrelated field. So I feel the good students should always think about studying law, and this is one decision they will never regret. And whatever they choose to become in their life and careers, a law degree will empower them and enable them to do that.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for covering everything from the past, present, and the future of law. I'm very, very optimistic that both the students and the parents will gain something meaningful out of this conversation, and this might actually encourage them to take up law. And on that note, let's end the interview. Thank you so much for your time, sir. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Priyam, and thank you, Collegedunia.com. All good wishes to your portal, and all of you doing a great job by making students aware and informed about various careers and education options in the country and abroad. Thank you. Thank you so much.